Hello, this is part 4. So we're going to be looking into this recording that is an anonymous caller that's calling in about the Kylie RODNI case. I'm just going to start playing it.
The picture I'm going to send you of the invitation that was sent out that night, the background of it is a picture of a fight from earlier this year at a party, because they're very common up here. People always bring boxing gloves to parties, and friends box each other for fun, but it's always friends. Like, there's never any ill intention in these matches. There are always...
the lovers in reverse. She's saying there's never any ill intentions. They're friendly fights. This would be friendly fights. This is not friendly fights. Were they normally friendly fights? Maybe. This night in particular, were they? No. Or at least they were not intended to be. There was some maliciousness, some no love, literally no love behind what was going on that night.
Kids mediating these box fights and are there to break them up if they need to, and there's always the biggest rule during these is you're not allowed to hit the other person in the head or the face, just because...
So right as she said you weren't allowed to hit the other person in the head or the face, I got the reverse tower. So there was no love, and Kylie was trapped. She was in an unfair situation. She was at a disadvantage. She either had multiple people pressuring her to fight or multiple people pressuring her to make decisions that were not what she wanted to do. This isn't to say that she gave into that pressure, but it is to say that there was a situation where Kylie felt like she was trapped, and it has something to do with these fights.
We don't actually want anyone getting injured. Like, I've personally been in a boxing match with a friend just for fun, and I didn't want to hurt her, it was just for fun. At 12:30, the crowd had shrunk.
I did pick up on that last time. She had been in a friend she had been in a boxing fight with a friend, but she didn't want to hurt her. It was just for fun. But I didn't want to hurt her. It was just for fun. Why did you say, but I didn't hurt her? You didn't want to hurt her. It's not that you didn't hurt her. It's that you didn't want to hurt her. So did you hurt her? Page of Pentacles in reversed. It's like an immature version. Like the page is already the immature character in this suit, and then you turn upside down and it's that person's even more mature, but they're also like greedy, unreliable, like the fights usually weren't evil intended. I mean, they're fights, so they can't necessarily be friendly in the terms of what friendly means. But this night, it was not the same energy. There was like an energy of at least like camaraderie or some kind of ethics that was missing this particular night. Kylie felt trapped. She realized that things were not as they seem, and they were even worse than they originally seemed, right? And then we have, not only is she trapped, but she's also being blocked, okay? So how would she be trapped? She's trapped because she's being asked not to leave. You're my bride, don't leave, don't leave. And then when the trapping didn't work, she was blocked. How was she blocked? Something was put in her drink to get her to stay in this situation that she didn't want to be in because it wasn't like normal. There was an evilness in the air that she could feel. Okay, so this is Jane Doe number 2's interview on All American Cartel's YouTube channel. They remixed her voice so it doesn't sound like their person, and they call her Jane Doe, so she's anonymous.
There were around 200 people. It's not very usual to see this at a party, especially at Sanctuary, because the road is so rough. People hate partying out there. I never saw...
So it's just the Four of Wands. It just is like a card about partying, celebration. One second before I say something. Four of Swords, yeah. So This card is about party, and this card is about like resting, taking it easy. So as I kind of said before, I don't think that this party is as big as they're trying to make it seem. I don't think there was 200 people there. There was probably a decent amount of people there, enough to fool the people who were on the receiving end of other people's evil plans. There was enough people there to convince them, but this wasn't a full-blown party like they usually have. This was, I feel like this card is basically saying that there was a lot of parties leading up to this one, and that's why this one presented the perfect opportunity, because there was other parties that there was a lot of people at. So it would be easy to be like, oh, there's gonna be a ton of people there, blah blah blah, we just had this, and there were so many people there, let's go. Oh, there's not that many people there this time. That's what this is saying. So could they have had parties with that many people? I'm sure they did. Was this particular party that? No, it was not. No, it was not.
Saw anyone sketchy show up. I never noticed anyone sketchy while I was there. I definitely never saw Jagger there. I don't think he was there at all.
Judgment in reverse. She's talking about Jagger, and I didn't see Jagger there. Jagger was not there at all. Why are you covering up for Jagger? Like, why? If there was 200 people at a party, if my name was on the line and I was in a room, not even a party, if I was just in an empty room with 200 people and I had 2 hours to walk around and take note of everyone's faces, I would not confidently say, especially in an open investigation, I know I did not see that person there. How do you know? If there's 200 kids in the woods, okay, in the woods, and they're all in different areas, did you go around and take a roll call? Did you make everyone check in before they passed you? No. How can you confidently say that you don't know that someone's there? The reason that someone can confidently say that is because they have a reason to care more about proving that he was not there than the actual truth. So if you're trying to cover up for someone and say, oh no, I know they're not there, you have to sound confident in that, right? Unless you went around and took a roll call, you shouldn't be confident enough to say that. What would give you that confidence, knowing that you can say this and it's not going to fall back on you later? Well, if someone on the other side is telling you that that's okay, or telling you to do that, there's no justice as long as there's going to be lies and covering it up, and that's what this is saying. He might not have been there. He might have came after the party. We haven't gotten that far yet. But what this person is saying doesn't make sense, because how can you confidently say that you did not see one person when there's supposedly up to 299 other people there as well? How can you say that in the woods, when it's dark outside, that you did not see a certain person? For sure, for sure, for sure. That you would bet a whole murder investigation on it.
I spoke to Kylie. She wasn't intoxicated, but she seemed happy. There was nobody there in wet clothes. They would have frozen so badly. It was raining all day that day. It was cold out. I don't know about the shrooms. I don't smoke or trip on substances, so...
The death card. She talks about there's no one there with wet clothes. Basically anything that could point to anyone that she's trying to protect, she's making sure to say those things. Nobody was there in wet clothes, aka nobody rolled a car into the water. My phone's about to die. Be right back. Okay, so she's talking about substances, and this card came out. I mean, it's such confirmation. I know that this poor girl got put something in her cup. Okay, that was the beginning of all of this happening, and I just keep getting confirmation after confirmation about it. So
I don't really look for them. I do believe she was intoxicated before 11. The girls in the black and white photo were in Reno, not Prosser, and I know this for sure because I'm friends with the one that took the photo. I don't know about Sammy and Kylie's relationship.
Before I say something, Nine of Pentacles. So like this person's really putting in the effort to try and sell this story. Because they were paid to sell this story. Or they were blackmailed to sell this story. It's basically like this interview is like a cleanup person. Like someone who comes in to try and tie up any potential loose ends that people could use and look into. That they hopefully won't look into because they'll be like, oh, well, there's no point in looking into that because remember so-and-so said this and she was at the party. Well, that's if the person's being honest, okay? And in this situation, this person is a cleanup person. This person is coming in this interview saying what people want them to say so that people stop looking in. Sun in reverse. So people don't see the sun, they don't see the light, they stop looking into certain things. I mean, take this interview from Jane Doe number 2 with a grain of salt. And when I say a grain, I mean like 1/10 of a grain of salt. Because some people's role in this is to go in and just disinform. And that's what you have to do when you're trying to cover something up. You got to have the people that go in and you like sweep after the vacuum has been ran as to get any remaining crumbs like off the floor. That's basically what this person's doing.
I never saw Kylie fight anyone, but the fight that was on video was a playful fight. I know those boys. I didn't see Kylie drink or smoke, but she did smell strongly of alcohol and was having a hard time walking.
Okay. So you're at a party with 200 people and you're taking note of who does and doesn't smell like alcohol? Are you a hall monitor? Did you also take attendance? Like, I just want people to be very discerning in what you believe. Because if one person gives an untruth, you can look into that and start to find holes in that. But if 5 people give the same untruth, it starts to seem like that might be a fact because so many people have said it. That's not true. That's not how it actually works. Because in this instance and many others, those 5 people are on the same team and what they're presenting as a truth is not the truth, but they're all presenting it so that you believe it's the truth. Be very careful.
Being straight and responding was slow. I don't believe that this could have been a drunk accident, honestly.
6 of Cups in reverse, bad memories. The 6 is often about like back in the day, childhood. So I feel like this is someone whoever's talking, whoever this Jane Doe is, I feel like it's someone that used to be Kylie's friend. They might have grown apart. They may or may not be closer with Sammy now. But whatever it is, this person had some kind of past with Kylie that they feel like they're doing Kylie a favor by helping let her rest. Like, basically, this person is aware that something wrong happened, but now they're like, you know what, I'm just going to help so that she can just rest. Because they're not understanding the depth of what they're allowing to continue through speaking untruths. Get it? Okay.
Honestly, Sanctuary Road can be impossible to drive on, especially with how intoxicated she seemed when I talked to her. Just a week before, a kid had high-centered his truck on the road, so it's not an easy one to navigate, like even sober. And I don't know any.
5 of Cups. So many different things. Okay, so look, it's like someone's looking down, like all distraught. That's what this person's trying to make it seem. Like the person's looking at the 3, so there's 3 knocked over cups here and there's 2 upright cups here. So like the figure in this particular card is looking over at these 3 knocked over cups, right? This is kind of confirming what I just said, as in it's like, this person is like, you know what, the bad thing already happened. I'm not currently friends with Kylie. I do have a past connection with her enough to convince myself that by lying, I'm helping let her rest, okay? But at the same time, This card's about like being disappointed. So maybe Kylie didn't want to be this person's friend anymore. Maybe they had a falling out. Maybe they had no falling out, but they either way grew apart. This person has convinced themselves that by taking whatever came to them in order to say this story, that they are giving back to Kylie by helping her just put an end to this. That's what they've convinced themselves of. Don't ask how I know, I just know, okay? Let's go.
Thing going on between Kate and Jagger. I tend to stay out of people's personal relationships just because it isn't my business. I have personally
Kate and Jagger, we got the reversed King of Wands,
with Sammy.
the reversed Two of Wands, the reversed Knight of Wands, and the Five of Pentacles. So right away, she's talking about Kate and Jagger. Jagger is Kylie's ex. Kate is Kylie's friend. 4 cards came out. Kate, Jagger, Sammy, Kylie. There's 4 people that are involved in this particular energy of the relationship between what's her name? Kate and Jagger. So we have discord and division with this knight. Okay. I did the king and the knight. So it's like the knight is like remember how I said that I feel like Jagger had some kind of ulterior motive. Like he wanted to get Kylie to believe something that was not true and she wasn't really believing it. That's these 2 cards together. So it's like he's trying to make it seem like he's this king when he's really just an upside down knight. I know this one's upside down as well, but that's because he's dealing with imposter syndrome. So he's pretending to be someone that he's not, and Kylie was seeing through it. The Two of Wands is about not like planning things through or like holding back in some way. So it's like Kate might have wanted to talk to Kylie about this, but she wasn't. It's definitely, there's definitely a situation that's going on that Kylie was becoming more aware of, but that she was not aware of all the way yet between Kate and Jagger. Can you see it? What's that say? A double life. Okay. And that's on the king. So it's who he's pretending to be, right? So I'm feeling like Jagger was the one that really needed the money, okay? So in some way, either before it happened or after it happened, Jagger discovered that he could get a payday out of this. It might be covering up the back end in some way, but they did say that he had nothing to do with this and he was cleared, which would fit in the puzzle if someone's on the other side trying to protect the people that they know are guilty. Because why come out and say that Jagger's cleared but nobody else? And if he's cleared, what is he cleared from if it's not a murder investigation? He's cleared from something that's being investigated as an accident, a car accident. That doesn't make sense, right? So if this is about Jagger pretending he's this king, but he's really this knight and he's upside down, he's living a double life. He wasn't really planning on anything coming from him and Kate, but he might have started to catch feelings, or maybe she started to catch feelings, or maybe it just happened more times than one, and once it happened more than once, it became a thing, and it wasn't supposed to be a thing. It was supposed to be like a one-time thing. But whatever it is, it was causing some problems. Maybe Kate was feeling guilty. Maybe Jagger, I don't feel like Jagger was feeling guilty. I feel like Jagger was You know when you feel like you lost power over someone, or someone feels like they lost control over someone else? They'll do something dirty behind their back so that they, in their head, feel like they have the one-up on the person because they don't know about that situation. I feel like that's this. Like, that's how this is presenting. Like, there's something going on with Kylie's, who was her best friend, and her ex-boyfriend. That puts a sticky situation as it is, right? And then on top of that, we have Sammy, who has bad intentions and is a self-proclaimed social butterfly. So she's talking to all these different people, and a plan starts to come together. All of these people have a strained relationship with Kylie. And it's showing through how they're talking about the situations. And because of that, I feel like Sammy kind of picked a side, and she chose Kate. And that caused everyone to kind of shift away from Kylie, making it possible for these plans that she had to go through. So it's, what am I getting at here? It's possible that Sammy is the one who said something about Jagger and Kate. And that's the connection with Sammy and Jagger, because there's a video of her like running and jumping up on him at the graduation. And I watched it on replay a bunch of times, and it's not screaming romance to me. It's screaming security blanket. It's screaming breath of fresh air. It's screaming, this person is as deep into this as I am, and they make it so I can take a deep breath, because if I go down, they go down with me fully. And I know that they're not gonna let that happen, or try to not let that happen. So I don't think Sammy was sleeping with Jagger. And I think that because so many people think that, they're able to use that to put a layer of confusion into the story. I think we need to start looking at it as there was something going on with Kate and Jagger. Because if there's something going on with Sammy and Jagger, Kate and Jagger, like all separately, it just seems like, not that it's not possible, but it's a lot, and it's meant to confuse. It's meant to be a lot. Let's say Kate and Jagger messed up one time, okay? Said they weren't gonna let it happen again, but then it kept happening again. Sammy found out. Now she has dirt on them and can use that. Let's say she's at a party, right? Kylie wants to leave this party. Sammy doesn't want to leave the party yet, because Sammy has bad plans. Some plans to do something that she's wanted to do. Get some revenge, make some money, whatever her motive was. Kylie wants to leave. Sammy says, no. Okay, well, before you leave, you might want another drink after this one, okay? But Kate and Jagger slept together. That would probably put her in a position where she's not going to immediately leave the party, because she's going to try and figure out what's going on, right? I'm not saying this is exactly what happened, but I'm saying it's at least close. There's not that romantic connection between Sammy and Jagger. But Kate has this look of sheer guilt in her eyes. And that would fit perfectly into the situation, because Sammy could say, you got to drive her to this party. I can't be the one to drive her. You got to drive her. And she could say, I don't want you to do this to her. Maybe she did. Maybe she was in on it. Either way, you have to do what I say. You have to bring her and then do what I say at the party, and either leave or move away or something, so she doesn't have you to reach out to when she needs help. If you don't do what I say, I'm going to tell her about you and Jagger. I mean, that even looks like Sammy and Kate because they kind of look similar, right? So, but that's Sammy. That's like a, yep, you got it.
And Sammy didn't even actually host the party. It was 3 boys from the area, one from Incline, one from Tall, one from Truckee. And the Truckee boy actually had work that night, so I don't think he was there. I never ended up seeing him. I'm from Truckee and I know this boy well, but...
One second. Okay, just for clarification, the word host, the definition means a person who receives or entertains other people as guests. Because I was wondering, like, how do you host a party if you're not there? You could plan a party if you're not there, but how can you host a party if you're not there? Can't. Why am I saying that? Because these people are using certain words. They have a checklist in their mind. Make sure you say something about who hosted the party. Okay. It's not who planned the party, because that's not what they're talking about. What was said before was about hosting the party. So they have to counteract that with the same word. Make sure you talk about who hosted that party. He hosted it, but he wasn't there. Does that make sense to you? Because a host is a person who receives or entertains other people at a party. And let's say she's a teen and she's using this word wrong, right? Why are you using a word if you don't know what it means, but it was previously used? So it shows that you're relating it to something, right? So you heard somebody say, I hosted the party, and now you're trying to counteract that by saying who else hosted the party, but you're also saying that person couldn't have hosted the party. So why are you talking about that word in the first place? Because you were being told or coached to do so. That's what I'm getting at here. That'll be important later.
I don't remember seeing him. When I spoke to Kylie that night, she was severely intoxicated. Like, she had been stumbling, her speech was slurring. But I also don't know her well, so I don't know her normal behavior. I had only seen her around and maybe spoken to her once or twice at things like parties.
3 of Pentacles, teamwork. Teamwork with a financial motive. Kylie was so drunk. Oh my gosh. She was just, there was 200 kids there, and out of 200 kids with all this liquor and alcohol and drugs, apparently Kylie was the only one that was intoxicated, apparently, because nobody else was nearly as drunk as her, right? At like 10 minutes after the party started, right? Okay.
Other than that, I never really saw her. She did go to a different school than me. She did mention having a ride, but she was alone and it was dark when I talked to her. People have also commented about kids not seeing things, and the moon was bright that night, but Sanctuary is under trees, and I had a hard time seeing because...
First one is the 3 of Wands, which is letting us know that this teamwork was pre-planned. This was planned. This was what, it's confirmation again. Like, yes, there's coaching. Yes, there's directing. Yes, there's a check mark of words that they have to counteract that have already been said. So somebody put something out there about Sammy hosted the party. So now to counteract that, you have to make sure you say that word host so that people's brains can register, okay, host, we're talking about that same thing, but it wasn't Sammy, it was these 3 boys. And like, how do you know if 3 boys are how do you know if somebody's hosting a party if they're not even there? What made them the host? It's not, I understand that they could be talking about an invitation to the party, but I'm trying to point out to you that this is much more calculated than that, and that is not what they're saying, regardless of how they're trying to make it look to you. We don't sugarcoat here. Okay, and then she just said it was too dark to see anything in the party, right? But we have people that are coming forward saying that they could see it fine. Like they they saw this and they saw that. They saw Kylie do this at this particular time and this at this particular time. And, you know, it's just, if it was so dark, how did everyone see Kylie so clearly? Was she wearing a flashlight on her head? 7 of Wands in reverse. Obstacles, ignorance. They're trying to play dumb. They're trying to pull the wool over everyone's eyes. This card's also about being, like, disempowered. Okay? Your power taken from you. This way you're putting up a fight. This way you're getting put in a position where you can't fight fair, right? That's the point of this misinformation, right? This back and forth of things that don't make sense given the other information that we know. So if there's all these people who saw everything so clearly, how at the same time can it be pitch black under the trees? Not pitch black, but if it's too dark that you can't see clearly, how did all these other people see clearly? This card is like, look for the holes in the story. There's holes being presented to you in the story that's being presented to you. And if you follow the holes, you'll be able to line them up close enough to see through to the other side and see on the other side of the illusion that's being presented. That's my goal.
Because the generator that was running the lights had turned off or gone home earlier, so I personally didn't see very much. That night, people began to show up around 9. It was a small group of people that I knew. I wasn't close with any of them.
6 of Cups in reverse. Strife and arguments arising from vanity. So either there was a time when the lights were purposely cut out. Okay, so let's say that she's telling the truth in that aspect, and there was a certain time when the person with the generator or the person with the lights left. It was done on purpose. That's what this is saying. Maybe they turned out the lights when that mass exodus happened and they wanted everyone to leave. Oh, lights are out. Everyone's got to go.
But I knew them, so I was happy they came. And I felt comfortable around them. Around 10, a huge group of people showed up. A friend of mine was leading them. She said, I don't know any of these kids, but they were all down on the road by the intersection because they had no clue where to go. So I led them to the right place. My guess is that these kids must have not been from Truckee. They were from the Tahoe region, around Incline mostly, and maybe some North Tahoe kids, because most Truckee and a lot of North Tahoe kids know where Sanctuary is because it is a popular spot for us. I noticed that.
So I pulled the Queen of Wands, 2 of Swords, and 10 of Swords. So this is the girl that's talking. Oh, okay. Ooh, all right, this is the girl that's talking. This is representing the girl that's talking. Wands, like she's trying to finalize ideas that are already out, okay? Trying to finalize the illusion winning over the truth. This represents the girl that she's talking about. This person, I feel like this was like an obstacle course of sorts, like someone has to pass to someone and then that person passes them off to the next person, until they eventually get to Sammy. So that there is, this person doesn't know this person, doesn't know this person, doesn't know this person, so that this person can't just jump ahead and turn in this person because they don't know who they are, okay? So once again, the truth is coming out so that there's a breadcrumb trail so they can fall back on it later, but it's mixed in with the illusion that's being presented. So this is the person that's talking. She's trying to, like the sword, like think of like once you cut something, it's cut. You can put it back together, but you can't put it back together the way it was. It's always going to be different because you've already cut it. This is the person that received the person initially. So like I said in my last video, if you don't want someone to know who a particular person is, so in this instance, okay, you're going to go and you're going to give this substance to this person, okay? But you're not going to know who it is. You're first going to be taken to this person. And that person's going to take you to the next person. That person's going to take you to the next person. That person's going to take you to the person that you need to give it to. That way, Those two people can't talk. They don't know anything about each other. Once this happens, there's a level of separation. They don't ever have to talk again. So this person is saying they're from out of town, didn't know who they were. They're making sure to say that. Is it true? Probably. They probably don't know who they are. But they knew why they were coming. They knew that they were coming to pass them off to the next person. This person had an important choice to make, okay? This was the Kickstarter in all of this. They saw these people on the road. These people said to them, I just put the rest of it together that I wasn't understanding. Okay. So there's people on the road, okay? These people on the road are being told, just wait there, okay? There's gonna be multiple parties, just wait there, and eventually someone will come. They're gonna be either wearing this, or they're gonna be driving this, or they'll say this, something, okay? There's some kind of code. Once they say that, you're gonna follow this person, they're gonna take you to the party. That was the first choice. This person could have walked away. They could have taken off this blindfold, saw what was going on around them, and been like, you know what, this probably not the best idea. They didn't, okay, but they did have that choice. They made the wrong choice, or they made the choice that ended in the situation that we are currently facing. So this person one takes this group into the party. This group is the group that has the substances that are going to be tested out on people. Told you I don't sugarcoat here. Okay, so bear with me. So person one brings this, they make some kind of code. They're like, okay, that's the person, okay. So that person brings them to the party. Then after they're at the party, then they go to whatever other steps that they take until they get to the person that they're meant to give this to. Maybe they get the money from one person, maybe they get half the money from one person, half the money from another person, and then they get passed along until they get everything they need until they get to the last person. That way this person doesn't know who that person is that they're actually giving it to. They can't blackmail them, they can't try and sell it to them for more, they can't do anything that's not in the plan of the higher up bosses. Okay? Get what I'm saying here? So they made the wrong decision. They chose to let them in. But what this girl is saying right now is like teeter-totting next to the truth, because they need to remember the order of everything. They need to remember those breadcrumbs. So if they have to backstep and be like, oh, this is what I meant. They have a timeline in their mind. Okay, when you say this, it means this. When you say this, it means this. When you say this, it's actually when that happened, but you weren't bringing them there because they were lost. And okay. What girl is walking through the woods, sees a group of people from out of town that she never noticed before, and is like, hey, come drink with me and my vulnerable friends? Is it possible? Yeah. But did it happen? No. That's not what happened.
A lot of people have commented that there aren't many photos and videos from that night, and it's true. A lot of kids up here don't spend their time on their phones at parties.
She's saying a lot of kids around here don't spend a lot of time on their phone at parties. Look at this. It's a hand giving a coin. That's not true. A lot of kids there do spend their time on their phones, because if you look in the other videos, there's kids on their phones when they're watching the fights. It's not that kids don't spend time on their phones. It's that they were offered money to delete what is on their phones. There is a difference.
I personally never noticed a whole lot of kids on their phones, other than when people were like taking B-reels or just taking random pictures. But most of the time it's like 0.5s with their friends' faces, like funny stuff like that. Not anything like crazy that actually shows the party. Like, I know I personally don't take pictures of parties in general. Around 10.
Okay, so I got the reverse 10 of cups and the reverse 5 of swords. So this is about like feeling bad for yourself, pity. There's like arguments within the group. This is, once again, they're talking about the fights. And it's a card that could mean like friendly, happy family, but it's in reverse. So while these fights were normally friendly, this night they were not. This is another confirmation of that. Then we have the 5 in reverse, which lets us know that Kylie's strength was tested, okay? She was tested by these fights in some way. What is one way that you could be tested by a fight? Someone trying to force you to fight when you don't want to fight, okay? I don't feel like she actually got into the fight or it went to that time period. I think that the fight was used to get her to loosen up so that they could put something in her drink. Oh, you have to do it, but just, you know, just have a couple drinks. Just have a drink or two, you'll be fine. Drink them quick so that you can fight and they can get over with and go around the rest of the party.
30, there were glow sticks all over the ground. That was one thing that I noticed because they had brought them earlier in the night and people were like putting them on, all this stuff, but they had started to fall off people. The glow sticks I had fell off. Them putting them in bottles and like setting the bottles places.
Okay, so she was saying there was glow sticks on the ground. The glow sticks were falling off of people. She might not actively mean it, but what I'm taking from that is like the glow sticks were starting to fall off of people. Like the light was starting to, it was already dark, but it was starting to not necessarily get darker because glow sticks aren't going to actually make things brighter, right? But it's like people that were there were starting to leave at this time, okay? It's like once this person that was in this for money, this person that came to play their role, but their role was to do this so they could get paid. This is not like the person who's in charge. This is not the boss. This is the person that was sent on this mission to provide something to someone else in exchange for money for them, power for them, protection for them. When she's saying everyone's light sticks started falling off, you know, it's like a metaphor in a way. And again, she might not be doing it consciously, but that's just sometimes how energy in the universe works. It speaks through someone in a way that they might not even realize. So I'm thinking that when she's saying the glow sticks started falling off of people, that's when they started either getting people to leave, asking people to leave, paying people to, hey, you did not just see that, okay? You didn't just see that. Here you go, bye-bye. That's what I'm taking from that. And this all happened because of this person showing up at the party that was bringing something that was being passed from one person to another to another. I don't think that the substance was being passed from one person to another. I think that whole person that brought the substance and the substance together were being passed from one person to another, like a checkpoint. And it's all so one person can't rat out someone else. You don't know them. You didn't let them into the party. You didn't spend time walking with them. There's no time that you could get to know them, talk, know any details. You really don't even have time to look at them hard enough to be able to give a statement about them.
A lot of kids also started to pick up the glow sticks and throw them at each other, which was making some people really mad. There's also been a lot of talk about the fight that was shown on the news.
Okay, so reverse justice and reverse page of cups. This is definitely about immaturity, like extra immaturity than just the upright page, but it's also false accusations, immaturity. She's saying that people started to pick up the glow sticks and throw them at each other. I don't think that that was necessarily the problem. They might have picked up glow sticks and throw them at each other. Fine. But what is being said here is some people probably wanted to go along with the plan and some people did not want to go along with the plan or go along with hush-hushing from what had already happened. And this is where there started to be some back and forth. Maybe this is when people had to start being paid off to keep quiet, something like that. But when she's saying picking up glow sticks, throwing at each other, and fighting, they're trying to cover for, oh, well, wasn't so-and-so arguing at the end of the party? Oh, they just picked up a glow stick and they were just fighting over throwing the glow stick at each other. when in reality, they were arguing because this person was like, okay, I'll take the money and shut up. And this person was like, no, this isn't right. They're putting like place markers down so that if something comes out about so-and-so fighting at the end of the night, well, what were they fighting about? Well, what they were fighting at the end of the night, walking to the car? What were they fighting about walking to the car? Oh, they were fighting about glow sticks. They picked them up and threw them at each other. That's a lot better than, oh, this person wanted to go along with leaving because they knew something bad was happening, and this person wanted to not. Or this person wanted to say something, this person wanted to get help, and this person didn't.
From that night, you can see in the picture I'm going to send you of the invitation that was sent out that night. The background of it is a picture of a fight from earlier.
The background is a picture of a fight from earlier. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There might be more, but at least, no, 6. At least 6 out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. At least 6 out of 13 people have their cell phone out with the light on. But I thought you don't like to take pictures of or videos of the party. They must not know that. Oh my gosh. You better tell them, because they are definitely taking pictures and videos of this party. Lies, deception, and potential cover-up. A knife in a back. Flying away. Getting away with something. Getting stabbed in the back and betrayed. Lies, deception, and a cover-up. Yeah, we don't use our phones. You know what? Maybe this was the only time that the group of 200 kids used their phone, was only in this party. Maybe that's why. That was a joke.
This year at a party, because they're very common up here. People always bring boxing gloves to parties, and friends box each.
Now they're showing a video, and all I can see in the background is cell phone lights. Like, you can't even pretend to believe what this person is saying, because there's so much BS in it that even if there was any truth in it, it's obvious that the truth is just to support the bullshit. Said what I said.
Each other for fun, but it's always friends. Like, there's never any ill intention in these matches. There are always kids mediating these
Page of Wands in reverse. So someone is getting her to say this, right? And at the same time, happy this word was actually in the card. Theatrical. Okay, like this is the lines that they've been fed to read. These are it's no more than a play to these people, okay? It's a payday, okay? It's an acting job. And if you stop looking at it as this person was Kylie's friend, this is a potential witness, don't look at the next couple interviews that you watch like that. I want you to look at the next couple interviews as if you're watching someone that is knowingly acting with no emotional attachment to the actual case or the person involved. Watch the next couple interviews as if you are watching an actor, like in a scene that they know that they're acting. Just do it.
And are there to break them up if they need to. And there's always the biggest rule during these is you're not allowed to hit the other person in the head or the face, just because we don't actually want anyone getting injured. Like, I've personally been in a boxing match with a friend just for fun, and I didn't want to hurt her, it was just for fun.
King of Swords, passion. I didn't want to hurt her, it was just for fun. It also says think things through from all perspectives. So like I just said, if you look at the situation from a different way, it opens up in a whole new light. You start to see that These are just really bad actors that have been paid for a role that they didn't have enough time to prepare for, so they're stumbling through it.
At 12:30, the crowd shrunk a lot. I didn't know almost anyone there other than like a couple friends in my ride home. And a boy...
5 of Wands in reverse, so I do believe what this person's saying right now. By 12:30, is that what time she just said?
Know almost anyone there other than we don't actually want anyone getting injured. Like at 12:30, the crowd...
12:30. So at 12:30, there was hardly anyone there because the crowds were scattered. Okay, so it might have looked like less people, it might have actually been less people, but I do believe that what she's saying is true. However, I do feel like that was happening to give the illusion so that the people that were not meant to still be there at that time, that were not in on what was happening, should leave because they are looking around and there's not really that many people there. The people that had to still be there had to stay, right? So how would they make it look like not weird? They can't go to their car and all sit in their car and then not leave. That's weird. Then it's like, are they going to jump me when I walk to the car, right? So how would they make it look less dense but still not have the people that needed to stay leave? They would just spread out.
I would shrunk a lot. I didn't know almost anyone there other than like a couple friends in my ride home. And a boy had pulled his car onto the dirt road, like the main road to get in and out of Sanctuary. And there were boys yelling and screaming at each other like in an aggressive way, not like a fun way, next to the car.
Five of Pentacles. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Okay, so these people that were fighting by the car, drawing everyone away from the party. Okay, we got to make it look like we're leaving now. We got to make it look like the party's ending now so that everybody can leave so we can do whatever we got to do, right? How are we going to do that? Let's spread out. Let's separate, okay? Okay, people are starting to trickle out. We need more people to trickle out. How can we get people to go towards the parking lot? Oh, I have an idea. You guys go park in the middle of the intersection, not like a highway intersection, like a dirt road intersection in the campground. You guys go park over there and fight by the car. But you don't have to actually fight. You can like get in, just like, I don't know, start playing music so you can draw everyone over to there, right? These people, these boys were offered money to do that and they jumped on it because they needed the money. They were a paid distraction. Again, hired actors.
So pretty much anyone that was there anymore had crowded around that car because they were trying to see if they were going to fight, if they needed to break something up. But one ended up climbing on top of the car and standing on top of it while the other one got in and started playing music from it.
So they distracted everyone, got everyone to come over there. Then once everyone was over there, they just magically stopped. How did they know when to stop? Oh, well, once everyone's over here, I'm just going to get on the car. I'll make sure, I'll see if there's still people over there. If there's still people over there, we'll like argue a little bit more, fight a little more, get them to come over. I'll yell from the top of the car, but we don't have to actually fight because I'm on top of the car now. You know, you can just get in and play some music. It'll give everyone over. You know, everyone will realize that we're not going to fight. Maybe they'll start the party over here. Then we turn the music off. They'll leave because we're already in the parking lot. Y'all are slick, but not slicker than me.
Subwoofer in the back of the car, and all the doors were open so you could hear it because there wasn't any music playing at that point. People were angry because there wasn't any music.
People were angry because there wasn't any music. So they turn off the music over there, pull a distraction over here, knowing the people are like, where's the music? If someone wants music, it's because they still want to be at the party. Okay, you're not like trying to turn the music back on as you're ready to leave. That doesn't make sense, right? So they knew that they turned the music off, okay? They turned it off long enough for people to get upset about it because they obviously didn't turn it off once people were already over there. Then why would they be mad? You're mad about the music not being on over there when you're over there? They had to turn it off when the people were still over there. That's what she's saying. So they turn off the music. They spread out the crowd. Some people start to leave, not fast enough, okay? Because remember, this whole thing got sped up because Kylie wanted to leave the party. So the plan had to be put into action sooner. So that being said, now they're trying to speed up everything else as well and get people to leave earlier than they had originally anticipated. Maybe earlier than the other parties had let out usually. So they turn off the music, spread out so it looks like less people. People start to trickle out, not fast enough. So they make a distraction happen, okay? This party is about fights, right? So they're saying, they're saying fight club, you know, they're not calling it that, but like they're having a fight club. They have friendly fights. Okay, well, you know that everyone's interested in that. So if you put on what looks like it's going to be a fight, people are going to go to that, especially if the music's out and it looks like it's dying out. Okay, they're going to go over there, watch that. Okay, sure. These people didn't want to fight because they weren't getting paid to fight. They were getting paid to distract. So they get everyone to come over with the loudness of a potential fight, which is why this was not a friendly fight. They get everyone to come over with the loudness of this potential fight. After pretty much everyone's over in that area, instead of being in the other area that they were trying to drain them out of, how do you get two people to all of a sudden not fight? One person is not going to wait for a whole crowd to come around and be like, okay, never mind. I'm scared. You weren't scared a minute ago. One person can climb on the car. Everyone be like, what are they doing? That person can not only check and see if there's still people over where they're trying to drain people from, but it also gives them a platform if they still need to bicker and fight to get more people to come over, because they obviously can't be checking their phone to see if they're doing a good job in the middle of a fist fight or a potential fist fight. So they can look and see if there's still people that need to come over. If there is, they can fight a little bit more, but they don't have to fist fight. That's not what they're being paid. They don't have to fist fight. They're just a distraction. Okay, so now everyone's over here. You're on the car. I'm just going to get back in the car and play some music, okay? I'm going to play about 10, 15 minutes of music. After I turn this music off, since we're already in the parking lot and we've been a distance away from that area with no music and now no people, everyone will leave. We'll filter out because we're already in the parking lot after I turn my music off.
Because that road was blocked by the car, no one could have driven in the direction of the Y intersection unless they had parked down there.
So now this car is supposedly blocking, like the water's on this end, the car is here, and everyone's here. So the only way that anyone could get here is if they had already parked there. If that doesn't scream premeditation to you,
which personally I didn't see anyone leaving at that point, and because I didn't really know anyone there anymore, I had asked my ride to take me home because I just felt kind of uneasy being there.
Second person who has vocally said, I felt uneasy at this party. Oh, really playing that up, huh? Page of Swords, restless energy, immaturity. The discomfort at the party was intentional. They intentionally had a certain group of people come in at a certain time so that anyone that was not in on the plans would feel uncomfortable, would remember that feeling of being uncomfortable, but would not relate it to the people that they knew that had something to do with this. Only the people that they didn't know that had something to do with this.
Without people I knew, though I left. My ride had parked their car all the way back on the paved road, so we had to walk all the way down the dirt road to get back. While we were walking, there was a group of boys walking in the same direction as us, and my ride knew them. I can't remember why he knew them, but maybe school or something, because my ride went to a different school than me.
Seven of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune, Temperance reversed. This was all a plan. These people were meeting back up at the end, either to get the money they were owed, tie up loose ends, make sure the other person was on the same page as them. This was a planned up meet. They did not just wander into each other at the end, okay? That was a step in putting this whole plan in motion. I mean, literally in motion, the wheel rolling. The people who were pretending to get in a fight at the car and the people that she's talking about now know each other. But they could not talk to each other. But one of them had a message for the other of some sort. And they had to use the middle person, aka this person's ride, was the middle person that had to convey that message or that question, whatever it was. So the group of guys that were getting in the fight and the people who supplied the substances, so they would never talk. Or not necessarily the people that supplied the substances, but the people that put this whole plan into motion about testing it on someone. They could not directly talk. Their middleman was the That being said, if this person's driver is working for the people in charge, it wouldn't be too far of a stretch for this person to also get a payday from, let's say, lying on an interview, putting out false information. This is almost over.
And at the white intersection, my ride and I went left of the car, and the boys went right because they had parked that way.
So she's saying that they got to a dead end, and her and the driver went one way towards their car, and the boys that they just potentially relayed this message to are going back in the other direction toward the water, toward where Kylie was found, and toward where the people got in a fight.
So a lot of kids had parked over by the water over there, and I'm guessing they were part of a big group of kids who showed up earlier in the night that didn't know where they were going, so they parked down there and walked up when my friend walked up and she showed them how. But most of the cars were at the actual sanctuary.
Seven of Cups, illusions, daydreams, and choices, okay? This person is once again trying to paint little, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. Just do anything but look at the big picture, because when you look at the big picture, only the truth starts to make sense, because all of the lies have some way of being disproven, okay? Even if they haven't came out yet. This card is also about like a loss of control. So it's like once that message was passed from one side to the other and they split ways, it's just hoping that that person relays the message to the person it's supposed to go to in the way that you said it, okay? You're hoping they don't change your message. You're hoping they don't not tell your message, you know what I mean? But you're hoping that your message goes from you, filters through this person, and bounces directly to the other person as is. That's what this card is about, like that loss of control. It's okay, it's out of my hands now. I did my part. I passed the message. I did my part. It's out of my hands now.
A lot of cars were actually parked at the sanctuary because it's really common for kids to hear about at these parties. especially if they don't have DDs and they don't want to drive home intoxicated. They'll camp there instead and drive home in the morning when they're sober. So that's where a lot of the cars were. I reached my ride's car around 1 in the morning.
So a lot of the cars were down by the water because people often camp there from parties.
Back on the pavement, and I was never passed by a car on the dirt road or saw a car on my walk to my ride. No headlights, nothing.
This is where Kylie's car...
So this is the last part I'm going to do for right now. She's saying she's making sure to tell you that when the whole time she was walking to the car, that is in this direction, her car is here, or her ride's car is here. The middle road is here that they were walking down, okay? When they got to the end of that middle road, some people of the group went right and they went left. She's making sure to tell you that no cars from this side passed. Why is she making sure to tell you that? Because she's implying that that car in the middle was still parked in that intersection and that no one could pass. That'll be important later.
Was parked. According to Jane Doe number 2, she says that no cars had left between 12:30 and 1 a.m.
And I was never passed by a car on the dirt road or saw a car on my walk to my ride. No headlights, nothing.
According to Jane Doe
No headlights,
number 2,
nothing. Oh wait, I'm gonna let her finish this part. According to Jane Doe number 2, there was a blockage.
The Y intersection, which would have prevented Kylie from exiting the party. Remember at 12:36 when Sammy said Kylie had called her?
She was meant to be my ride home, but I knew she was too intoxicated to get me home. So I said, hey, I found another ride home. Like, I hope you stay safe. Like,
Sammy had already left. In the background of her phone call with Kylie, she said she heard voices from the party, suggesting that Kylie was not in a car yet.
In the future, killer may admit guilt. I'm feeling like this is referring to the person who supplied the substance to the actual party. I don't know. It's just this image is just too spot on to what I'm picturing that person in my mind being like right now. Especially with how this case has really captured a lot of people's attention. I feel like the person who brought these substances to the party right now was not expecting this. This is not what they signed up for. And if the dominoes fall close enough to that person, they might admit guilt and turn on the people that they know that are more in charge than them. I don't feel like that could be Sammy, although I do feel like she has a direct role in Kylie's death for her part in this. But this particular card, I don't feel like it's referring to Sammy. I feel like it's referring to that person. Because of that level of, okay, you meet this person, this person, this person, this person. Sammy has nobody to turn on. She doesn't know who could even have supplied it to that. There's no way she could know. She only met that person at that instance. So even if she can't really even turn on that person, because it would blow up her whole, it would make her theory untrue to turn on that person, okay? So she doesn't have the opportunity to use that, okay, well, I can turn on the top guy because of the way that things were separated to prevent that from being able to happen. This person is the person who brought the things to the party that is in the position where they could turn someone else, a bigger fish, they could turn a bigger fish in. Because they know who that is, because they are that middleman person that knows both, right? Probably doesn't know everything, but knows at least someone who can lead to someone who can get them out of a murder charge. We'll do more later.